Today's video is dedicated to Ozzy Francef, my high school shop teacher who became a lifelong friend. We shared the same birthday, January 14th, and for too many years to count, he shaped the lives of thousands with kindness and unwavering support. Watch as I flip the script and teach him an unconventional gardening method that honors everything that he taught us. This isn't just about growing sprouts in an oil pan. It's about gratitude, legacy, and a teacher who believed in every student. Rest in peace, Oz. And to his bride, Evelyn, thank you for sharing him with us. So if you ever want to know the ultimate of cool, look over here, right? This guy right here. That guy has been sporting that stash ever since he was my shop teacher in high school. And what really surprised me is that he's not that much older than me. We share the same birth date.
Yeah, January 14th.
January 14th, and you're only 10 years older than me.
That's
Man. But you know, when you're a kid and you look at this guy who's got a stash out to here, is the coolest guy beyond belief, man, you were old. What happened?
What happened? You caught up, Nick. You caught up.
I certainly, in more ways than one.
Well, it's great being here.
Well, thank you very
Thank you
much.
for inviting me.
Indeed, indeed. Well, you know what? What a lot of people don't know is that one of the things that we have done is we've actually gone to his house and we've done some filming before.
That's exactly right.
And I don't know if we ever fixed any of your plants or not. But...
Well, they're all alive and well thanks to you guys.
Oh, okay. Well, that's...
I've been following the regiment.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, they're all alive and well.
Well, as a shop teacher, you were auto shop.
That's correct.
And
you were the skinny young white kid that was in the class.
Yeah.
As you know, it was a very diverse environment.
Yes, it was.
Because the area that you went to school and
we
where
can
I
tell,
taught.
Montebello High School.
And yeah, it was a very diverse community, and I think that was a big plus for both of us.
You know, it was actually amazing because it just helped all through life. Right. And you know, you just don't see, there was no stereotypes. You just went and you did stuff, and you know, you go to a market and this and that, you feel comfortable anywhere and everywhere.
Well, we were like a family, and everybody treated each other that way.
Yeah, that was really pretty cool.
You know, our parents didn't come from very much money, but the entire group was like that. Yeah. And I think that's what really brought all of us, including myself, because we're all immigrants. I'm first generation here in this country. So, you know, I think it's a big advantage growing up in a situation like that. You become a little more open and a little more understanding to humanity. That's my opinion.
And this was one of the things that, I don't know if he's going to hone up to this one or not, to tell you, to make sure everybody was always on a plain, level field. You'd be in class, and he'd rather be in the shop. He didn't like being in the class.
Right.
Book,
I'm a hands-on guy.
Yeah, I remember that clearly. So you're in the classroom over here, and it was in a bungalow, if I'm not mistaken. Right. You're in this bungalow like this, and if there was two guys that didn't get along, he would conveniently slip out the door and yell, "Clear the chairs." Everybody would clear the chairs, and either those two guys humbled each other with their fists,
right,
or everybody started cracking up because it was just so funny.
Right.
You know, and it was really, really a neat
learning
experience.
That's where it started and ended, and then everybody shook hands and they went on their way.
Exactly. Nobody left like they have to
go to the park after school. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Clear the every time I hear that, clear the chairs, and everybody. Well, listen. You're still involved in the world of racing and fixing things, and you've seen a lot of really interesting trends as it comes to motors throughout the world, throughout your time. Here I have a little cutaway engine here that our mutual family friends, Dan Cato, he has no idea that I still have. So here we have this this cutaway engine. This is actually kind of something that you had us as youngsters take apart and put back together.
Right. We had a one-cylinder Briggs & Stratton engine, and you guys and gals would disassemble them, work as teams of 2 people, totally disassemble them. We would go through and use a micrometer. You'd learn how to use a micrometer, and you would check clearances. You would assemble it, learn how to set the ring gaps, put it all together, and then when everybody was done, I believe we had 24 kids in class at that time, so we had 12 units, and then we would take them outside the bungalow, put gasoline in them, and the first one that started would get an award.
Yeah.
And they all started, by the way.
I didn't get the award, but mine did start. I remember that. And you know what? I have to tell you, it was a really a wonderful life experience, because as I started to develop into my career path, you know, we had tools, and we had our lawnmowers and edgers and weed eaters and you just name it, the tools that we had. Some of those tips and tricks really helped, because, for instance, if it wasn't because of class, I wouldn't have known that you could hone out the cylinder.
Right.
And you didn't have to replace anything. Sometimes it was just taught about knocking off some of the little rust or particles off of that.
Sure.
Change the rings out.
Right.
And you could save
Or
that
take the
engine.
cylinder head off and decarbonize.
Yeah. So that's really a part of sustainability at its best. And with people, you know, and everybody is all about that nowadays. You were teaching it back then.
Well,
you know,
it is what it is.
It is what it is, and but there's really not a whole lot more that's just really kind of cool when you get that gas and oil stench embedded in your hands, and you're and you know that you're able to take something like this and start it.
You know, I'll tell you something, Nick. You know, the gratification that I get, I've been at this for 48, almost 49 years as an instructor. And it's so gratifying to me that each and every one of you guys and gals have become successful. And that, to me, is what it's all about. You didn't go to jail. You didn't get hung up on drugs. None of you. And I still stay in contact with everybody.
Oh.
Some of my wife and I's best friends are ex-students and their families.
Dude, post your picture. In fact, I posted a picture of you and I just recently on there. You're like a rock star.
Well, I'm very proud of all of you. All of you.
Well, thank you. Well, it has everything to do with your instruction and your motivation and the things that you have done and such. And I want to thank you for not having a job that paid you any money, and you stuck around for guys like me.
Well, it was my pleasure.
And knowing that if you were to take this and pull it off and hold on to it and pull it, you would get shocked.
And we made sure you understood that, right?
Yes, Steve. Okay, this right here, this is actually, you know, in honor of you right here, because I know that you race.
Yes, 2 late model Camaros.
Yes. Well, this right here, being that we do have somewhat of a gardening show here, this right here, and we'll put up some pictures of this. I would take these cars, these are RC cars, and I would create a racetrack at different venues.
Wow.
So one time we went to the Long Beach Convention Center, and we took a huge footprint at a show. We brought a NASCAR in. We brought the NASCAR into our booth. We put grass around everything. We put all types of brickwork and such, and then guys were just standing there and racing these cars all over the place and doing all that. What kind of racing are you guys doing now?
Drag racing. Have been doing that for 50 years, and I don't drive anymore. My son and daughter were driving the car that we built together, and in 2013 we won the national championship
Nice.
for NHRA.
Congratulations.
And I'm very proud of that. We have the huge Wally trophies, and my son's name is in the record books, and so on and so forth. And it's just a fun activity you can do with the family. Is it expensive? Yes. But so is playing golf or growing plants or going boating, which we've done too. It's kind of, Nick, pick your poison.
Yeah.
We all need an out of some sort. And so this is my way.
And you're still able to hear because that's a
Sort of.
Yes.
Yes.
We used to set up all the time for about 2-3 years over in Irwindale at the at the racetrack. I had an area over there that's absolutely huge, and that's where I kind of got introduced into the NASCAR aspect of it. But boy, oh boy, the sound that would come out of there was just amazing. Well, I'll tell you what, I got a little project over here that I want to bring up to everybody. Are you game to doing something with me?
Well, I mean, I was the teacher and you were the student, so it's going to be really nice to reverse the roles, and you're going to be the teacher,
We're gonna see.
and I will be the
We're
student.
going to see how we can trip them up. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
All right, let's go.
do it.
Okay, now I realize that we're getting closer to that age of bedpans, but we know that this is an oil pan.
Absolutely. Because you can see the drain right there.
You can't see the drain right there.
That's right.
And when I saw this, I was so motivated. I says, you know what? I'll bet you anything Ozzy would know what to do with it.
Sure. Slide it under a car.
Of course. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is this right here. You and I come from a culture that loves these things.
In Russian, they're called semichki. Sunflower seeds.
Sunflower
And these
seeds.
happen to be unsalted.
They're unsalted, they're raw, and they're organic on top of that.
And Grandma and Mom, when I was a little boy, used to put these in a frying pan and fry them.
Oh, is that right?
And then you would eat them.
Nice and toasty.
Yeah.
No, good. Well, I got to thinking to keep in our automotive mode over here and motif, I guess you would call it, because we do have the race cars here. I thought it'd be kind of fun to make a planter out of this. And by the way, I originally had planned on getting a gas can and having you and I cut the top off of it and then do the magic and do some planting in there. But I figured, nah, we eat the semichki.
That's right.
That's us.
Yeah, it's our culture.
And one of the neat things about in the world of gardening is that you don't need a lot of soil, and you can be very creative about doing plantings. And particularly if you don't have any time, because you've got the pedal to the metal. And the thing that we want to see going over here is we want to see some fast growth.
Right.
Now, in the world of plants, sometimes fast isn't necessarily as fast as we want it to be, but we can try the best that we can. So typically, whenever we have a planter, and I've been to your house before, you've got potted plants all over the place. You have holes on the bottom of there for drainage. In this particular planting that we're going to be doing, because it's a different style, I don't want any holes. Don't want any holes whatsoever. But what I do want to do is I want to put just a little bit of soil, maybe about an inch and a half of soil. So let's get our fingernails dirty over here and fill this thing up with a couple of inches of soil. And don't worry about making a mess, because we're outside at the thingsgreen.com botanical gardens.
That's right.
So as he's doing this, what's really kind of interesting is that some of the soil, actually the soil needs to be moist. So as he's going like this, maybe I'll just take and I'll spritz a little bit, put a little bit of soil down, spritz a little bit more. In fact, I have some soil in here someplace that is super dry, and we need to really moisten.
Now, Nick, this is just regular potting soil. It's
yeah, there's nothing special about this. You know what? I'm glad that you mentioned that, because the word soil gives you the impression that there's actually soil in here. And we think of soil being as clay, and we have sand, and we have silt. None of those properties are in here.
Okay.
You have things like, I think that's good. All right, and then you have things like bark, this white stuff that we see in here, that's perlite. There's fir in here, which is another form of bark. There's peat moss inside that helps retain water. So these are what we call synthetic mixes.
Right.
They're really not true soils in the sense of soil. So even though it may say potting soil or garden soil on there, unless it says a sandy loam soil, it's probably something like this. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's another part of the recycling aspect where they'll take pallets.
Right.
And pallets and construction equipment, and they'll take and they'll bust them all up and they'll make them real tiny, compost it down. This is what we got. So what we're doing over here is making a little bed. And you know what? I think we're going to go just a little bit higher, if we would please, and then squish it down like we were doing. So what we're going to be doing over here is what we're going to be growing are, we're going to be growing sprouts. And we're going to be growing sunflower seed sprouts. They are loaded with lots of different types of nutrition. There's benefits to them for just growing. And yeah, look at you, man. You're a professional. You're not a gardener by trade?
Yeah, I don't know. You were over at the house. You're a great teacher. So I'm just trying to be a good student.
You're doing a wonderful job. So anyway, what we got going over here is that you have a nice and flat that's absolutely perfect. Just for tickles, why don't you take and go ahead and spray that and moisten it up. We want to get a nice soil base. So we're going to make some sprouts, or you can do this with pretty much any kind of vegetable seed. Lettuces do very well. We call those microgreens. Okay, let's not get carried away there, Dad. All right. Wipe your hands off a little bit. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, unlike any other kind of gardening technique, where you would take and you would figure, okay, this one seed, and your seeds will have directions on them, by the way. Your seed, you're going to take and you're going to put it right here, and then it'll say, well, planted 7, 8,
right.
10, 12 inches apart. Throwing all that wisdom out the window. Just like not using any kind of holes on the bottom over here, and using something that's not traditionally used as a container in the first place. Now, the thing of it is that what I also want to remind ourselves is, even though I paid less than $2 for this, if you're going to be using one that's been used before, clean it out really good.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want oil in there.
You don't want to oil that. So what we want to do next here is I want you to be very liberal by taking and sprinkling this all around the top over here. And hopefully he'll take and he'll make it as even as possible. He's not going to pocket any of them because they are tasty. And you know, growing up, we would go to events and weddings and different things, and you would get several people standing in a circle. In fact, there was this place that was in East LA on, I think it was Lorena and Whittier Boulevard.
Okay.
We called the guy the Seed Man. And he would sell these kind of seeds.
Oh.
And we would sit there, and all of the churches and the functions and the youth center was all there in the heart of East LA. So we'd be standing around, and this is really before they had vacuums and blowers for gardening.
Right, of course.
You know, today I feel very sorry for the janitors of the time. But we would sit there, you pop a handful of these things in your mouth, and you're spitting them out, just slobbering up the whole place. It was so cool. Okay, but we wouldn't do it. Let's load it up even more.
Okay.
Yeah, come on. Okay, so what he's doing over here is that we're going to take and we're going to put as many seeds in here as possible. We want to actually kind of cover up as much soil as possible. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of come through, and any of them that are doubling up on each other, we're going to take and try to make soil contact. Like this. Now, I've actually done this, so yeah, we'll sprinkle them all out. Yeah, it's nice. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, there's two methods that we can do, and I've actually done this before in the past. One method is just to take it just like this, and you put it in a dark place, in a cabinet someplace, and you come indoors. Yeah, well, this is all indoors. So you put it in a cabinet like this. This will actually germinate like this.
Oh.
but you don't have a great amount of germination. So what we want to do is combine this. Once you pat those down a little bit, so we're going to get some good soil contact, and you can get a better germination out of this. Now that you have it all patted down, your seeds are pretty good. Why don't you just for tickles take and spray it again, spritz them. And so we're gonna take and water them up, spritz them up. They're gonna absorb some of that water right here. And it's important because you have that pretty big seed that's in there in that coat, and we want it to get it inside. So taking and spritzing like that's a good idea. Now let's take just a very super thin line of soil just to barely cover those up. Just to barely cover them up. So this right here is going to give it the extra moisture that it needs in order for them to germinate properly. That's right. That's what we're going to do right here. And we're going to do the same exact thing as I said if we didn't cover them. We're going to take it, we're going to put this in a dark spot, put them underneath in a cabinet someplace or wherever, it really doesn't matter. And then just keep it moist. And that's actually just perfect right there. Once you go ahead and moisten it up again. And so from this point on, you don't want to take water and pour water in there. You don't want to fertilize this. You don't want to do anything but this every so often, maybe every day or two come in, spritz it out like this, and then probably within, maybe 3 to 5 days, it starts to grow.
Wow.
Oh, it's so cool. And then when it grows, it gets a little bit taller and taller and taller. And when it gets about maybe 4 inches taller or so, get yourself a pair of scissors. And I know how we don't like scissors.
Right.
We'll take it.
That's taboo.
Then what you do is that you take and you harvest them. And then you enjoy them. And then you could watch them continue to grow. You probably get maybe 2 to 3 harvests out of this.
Wow.
So whether it's these kind of sprouts, it could be alfalfa sprouts, it could be chia seed, it could be even any kind of different type of lettuce, mesclun mix, whatever. And it's so simple, and it's a gardening thing that even a mechanic can do.
And it's organic.
And it's organic on top of that. Thank you for coming out.
You're a great teacher.
I really appreciate you coming out.
Thank you, Nick.
We'll see how this works, and much success in your next 49 years of teaching and endeavors.
Well, like I say, I'm very proud of all of you, and you've done well.
It's going to make me cry. Okay, I'll say now what you got to do.